Hello and welcome to Pacific Northwest Crafter. My name is Crystal and this is my channel where I talk about what I've been crafting for the last couple of weeks. Mostly cross stitching, but sometimes there's some knitting and sewing and other crafts in there as well. Today is a special edition of FlossTube. It is my 2026 WIP Parade. There are a lot of people that are filming WIP Parades. I always enjoy watching them, seeing what other people are working on, what fabric and floss combinations they have, as well as ideas of what I want to stitch in the future as well. So thank you to those that are joining me today. Additionally, I know WIP Parades is how a lot of people start following a channel, and to give in that event, let me give you a little background. Again, my name is Crystal. I am on the Oregon coast, so I live here with my pup Timber, and you might hear him chewing on a chew toy in the background. He's usually pretty good, so hopefully he's not going to bark at a UPS man that drives by. But yeah, I have been cross stitching since I was young. I got out of it for a little while, but got back in for probably about a decade or so. Got back into it in the fall of 2023 and been loving all the different and new things since then. I have embraced stitching a linen, so I am mostly a linen stitcher. I have one project that is Ada, but we don't talk about. That's what got me out of stitching. Maybe I'll bring it back out this year. We'll see. And I don't count that in my WIP parade either because there's issues. um, but I'm mainly a linen stitcher. I do love all the fancy flosses. I have quite a few there. I'm getting into silks. That's a new, I started getting into silks last year and I'm enjoying stitching on those. Yeah, I stitch all sorts of projects. I have a lot of hands-on design, Brenda Gervais with a needle and thread, lots of Primrose Cottage, love them, and looking forward to going to the retreat this summer. So yeah, that's a little bit about me in a nutshell. I try to film every 2 weeks to give you an update about what I've been crafting for the last couple of weeks. Sometimes it's hit and miss depending upon my work schedule and everything, because I do work full time. I wish I cross stitch full time, but I don't have that luxury at this time. Maybe when I retire, we'll see. But yeah, if you ever have any questions, please drop a comment. I love catching up with everybody and seeing if somebody else is working on the same thing, or if you have any questions, like I skipped over something, please leave a comment and chat. But again, thank you for those that are tuning in and are regular subscribers. And if you're not, I hope you like what you see. And if you do, like and subscribe. I'm trying to get the subscriber numbers up, and we'll go for a little bit at the end too. All right, so let's start with some statistics on this. To this year, for 2025, that is, I started 69 projects. So that's 69 different cross-stitching projects I started. I finished 50. That was a little bit, some of them were carried over from 2025 and 2023. But I did finish 50, and I fully finished 29 projects. I know I need to get that number up next year. I have a lot of projects that I wanted to fully finish this past Christmas, but I just didn't get to them. So that's a goal for 2026, is to work on more FFOing. Let's see. So what I am bringing into 2026 though is 72 WIPs. It seems like a lot to some. I know there's some people that work on one project or maybe two projects if we push it. But there's other people that I've heard that have had lots, like in the hundreds and so forth. And I think, oh, there's somebody that's going to start 50 plus new projects in 2026 and such. So I feel like I'm okay with the number of WIPs. One of the reasons I had gotten out of cross stitching was I always thought if you work on a project, you got to do that entire project, finish it before you can get on a new one. And I didn't enjoy the one I was working on, so I stopped. I love the fact that I feel like starting a new project, I'll start it. Most of them I finish or have plans to finish or want to finish and so forth. There was a couple last year that I UFO'd or unfinished objects I kind of took apart and put away. This year I was going through them, and I don't think there's any that I want to UFO. There's some that I might condense and turn into something else, but we'll talk about those as we go through. But yeah, so there's 72 WIPs that I have. I have 28 of those are from pre-2025. So there is one project I have still from 2023, and uh, it'll get there. I'll show you that when we get to it. It's a Christmas project. I have 27 projects from 2024, and then 44 that I have from 2025 that I'm coming in. Of those, the most I have are I stitch seasonally. So I stitch seasonally. That's how I kind of have them broken up a little bit as well. I do keep track of my projects in Notion. It's an app that I have on my Apple products. Frizzy Lizzy Stitches has a really good tutorial on how to use and a template for Notion. I really like and enjoy using it. It's a fancy spreadsheet from what I is how I would describe it. You can link it with other databases and get more out of it a bit. I'm not there, and I don't think I'm going to be there, or it doesn't something that interests me. I do like it to keep track of my projects. However, as I was preparing for today's WIP Parade, I don't like the fact that I can't print from it. So I tried printing out, because I keep track of what fabric I'm stitching on, when I started it, what flosses I'm using, if I'm doing any conversions, except it won't let me print in a nice format. It got all jangled up if I export it and so forth. So with that said, I will, if I remember the fabric and such, and if I made any changes to the floss, I'll try to let you guys know. Usually I will type out every single project that when I do my normal floss tubes, every project that I'm working on, I'll type out the details and put it in the detail section of the YouTube video. However, with 72 projects, I'm not going to get there this time. So not going to have that in the details, but please, if you have any questions or want to know a little bit more about a project, drop me a line. I'm happy to answer anything that you might have. And hopefully you'll also see these projects later on in the year as I'm working on them. Let's see, what else was I going to tell you? I did take out everything from my project bags. Just try to make it a little bit more manageable. So I'm not going to show any project bags this time. I do love buying people's project bags and such, as well as making my own. And I usually share those when I'm doing my normal floss tube as well. But I have those, and yeah, that's not going to be part of this though this time. And let's see here. And it may be a two-part series. We'll see. So again, I stitch by the season. So I'm going to present all of these in the season, by season, instead of by when I started or anything like that. Because I do Christmas in July sometimes, and I start things different at different times. But we're going to go by season. We're going to start with winter, and then we're going to go into general everyday, because a couple of those are my birthday starts. My birthday is next week. So I kind of lump those in at that point in time. And then we're going to go into spring, which then includes Easter and St. Patrick's Day. There's a couple in there. And then patriotic. At the point of patriotic, we're going to see where we are in this time frame. Because I found that if I have a really long video, it takes forever for it to upload into YouTube right now. So we'll take a pause at patriotic, see where we are. If we're at like an hour or something mark, then I'm gonna have to stop, and I'll make a part 2 of the WIP Parade and finish up with that. After patriotic though, we have Halloween. Oh wait, nope, did I skip something? Yes, I skipped summer. So there's some summer bee garden items, and then I have some Halloween, and then fall and Thanksgiving, and then Christmas. So out of all of those seasons, I found out that there's 4 seasons that I have a lot of WIPs in right now. I have my 2 of them are tied for third. So at third place, I have a lot of Halloween at 8 projects, and fall and Thanksgiving, I have 8 projects there as well. Next up, I have 12 patriotic pieces that I have started, or started in the past year or two, and in carrying into 2026. And then I have 18 Christmas projects. So there's a lot of Christmas projects, and there's a lot more patterns that I want to stitch too for Christmas. So what will happen is we'll go through the WIP Parade, and I will tell you as much information and details and little tidbits about the pieces. And then after that, we'll kind of do a wrap up, maybe and some plans for 2026 and what you can expect hopefully from me. So let's see if there's anything I missed to get us started. Nope. Oh, the only one thing, mostly I have hard copies of the patterns. Some of them are PDF only. If they're PDF, if I can do it quickly, I'll pull it up on my phone to show you all, but some of them I might not have the pattern to show to you. But yeah, but again, if you have questions, feel free to ask. I'm happy to answer. And with that, let's get started. I'm gonna probably be taking water, drinking a little bit of water as we're going through this too. So, one other thing is within the seasons, I kind of went through and I put them somewhat in order of when I started them. So like the one I started back in 2024, and then if I started in 25. So they're a little bit oldest to newest within the seasons, if that makes any difference to you. Anyway, but the first one up we have is Hands On Design. This is Winter Folk by Hands On Design. This is a 4-part series that Kathy Haberman has made. I have stitched all of them. I've stitched the spring, summer, fall, and this is the last one I have to finish up. There is the special edition Christmas one that I have the pattern, but I haven't even started that one yet. These I do have the finishing panel, and I am stitching all of the seasonal folk on the called for 32 count driftwood, which is Fabrics by Stephanie. And I'm using all the called for DMC floss. So this is how far I got so far. I haven't stitched on any on this this winter, which would be like Christmas time to now. So I probably stopped stitching on this maybe February last year. And as you can see, I'm going piece by piece as we go down. So I'm right about there. So I'm about a third of the way down. I go through, the way I approach these is I go through and I will stitch the little row because she hasn't broken down rows. I'll do any of the back stitching that's needed for that row, and then I go on to the next one. The specialty stitches that are in these, I save until the very end. And I'm enjoying that, so hopefully that one, maybe I'll get done this winter. I really hope to get it done. The FFOing, I still have to FFO the fall one. Spring and summer, I do have FFO, so looking forward to that. Next up is Winter Rose Manor by With the Needle and Thread. This one I started as a leap day start. So this one was started, I know, on February 29th of 2024. And I love the pink house and everything, and it's so cute. And there's other people that are stitching it too. I have not, I worked on this a little bit the other day, just a tiny bit. But there's where I'm at. I previously had this border done, so I got a good chunk of the border. The only thing I did the other day, I worked on this, actually this was part of my 6th that I worked on last night during New Year's Eve. I put in the outline around the house as well as his little face. Now, okay, sometimes I ask opinions of people. So the bird, the brown bird, brown cardinal. See here how the body and his breasts, the body and then the wing is a little bit different. Can you see? There we go. In color, and you can kind of see the distinction. Mine, they're not, well, maybe in that lighting it shows okay. I just worry that you can't see the wing in there. The wing is putty, and I like the putty, which is the steps as well. The body is Sage by Weeks Dye Works, I think, and that one, I don't think it's contrast enough. So we'll see. I also, that's Conch, the called for pink, and I'm not sure if that's pink enough for me on this fabric. Do I have where I'm stitching this one on? I do not have this one. I'm pretty sure it's a 40 count. It may be Winter's Blue, but I'm not positive. It's either a 40 or a 36 count. I do know that. So that was Winter Rose Manor by Brenda Gervais. The next one that's winter, it's the last of the winter ones, is my this winter season stitch. So it is, and I'll explain that here in a second. It is Joy and Good Cheer by With Thy Needle and Thread. So what I've done in 2024 and 2025 is on the first day of the season, I start a project and my goal is to finish it by the last day of the season. So I started this on December 21st and hopefully I will have it done by the first day of spring. I got a good start on it. I am using, it is a 36 count, I believe. Can't remember, or it could be 40. It's 40 or 36, and I want to say it's winter brew, but maybe not. I am using all the called for floss on this, and that's where I'm at on that guy. So got a good, it's Weeks Dye Works as well as some DMC in there. So I got a good start on him with the wreath. I think the wreath and him are almost done, and then I can move on to the other parts, the snowman and that big old house and words. This next one, let's see if I can find, it's pretty self-explanatory. This is a PDF. I started this one on my birthday in 2024. And I'm also, on the other side note, I'm a huge Disney fan. So there are a couple of Disney pieces in here as well. And that is one of these. I'm trying to find a picture of the PDF for you. Oh, here we are. So this one is from a little shop on Etsy. It was Cross Stitching Lovers on Etsy, and I just found it and it was cute and simple. So there it is. It is called Mickey Castle, and it's just a silhouette, and I decided to kind of do my own little twist on it. So this is on a 32 count white sparkle by Fabric Flair. That's not the technical words of the fabric, but that's what it is. It's 32 count because I'm using 2 strands on it, and I know it's a white and it's a sparkle, and I remember that's Fabric Flair. But I decided, well, initially I had started this castle and I was going to do like a confetti color, so it was red, all sorts of Weeks Dye Works confetti, which is like a blue, green, red, yellow, all in one thread, and kind of do diagonal, and I wasn't liking how it was working out. So instead I used color and cotton, and I outlined everything in the purple color. I'm filling it in with this leg warmer, which is like a bright pink, and then I'm going to accent on the top with the flags and the little parts, the yellow and some orange. And the reason I'm using these colors is I started this when I was in Disney World in 2024 for my birthday. And during that time, the Festival of Arts was going on. And Festival of Arts has Figment, which is one of the characters in Disney. And they had those colors in the decor and everything. So I really embraced that, and it's a good memory. And I love stitching on it. It brings back the memories of visiting that. The next piece is also Disney. This one I got as a Christmas gift. It was a kit, and it's called Disneyland, which I consider my home park. But this was a kit that a friend got me, and it's a kit from the Ukraine. So it came with everything, and it came with the DMC floss as well as some Aida. I decided not to stitch it on the Aida, but I am using I'm pretty sure it's DMC. I'm using the floss that is with it. And I have just a little bit of a start. Or a little bit of that one. So this is a lot of color changes. I'm working on it bit by bit. I did work on this a little bit last night, as well as the Mickey Castle that you just saw. But yeah, that'll be fun too. And so I'm not using the Aida that came with it. This instead is that same 32 count Fabric Flair fabric that is like a white sparkle. All right. Next up is my birthday start that I started last year in 2025. I had an opportunity to go to the attic right before my birthday, which is in Arizona. It's the first time I was in the attic. It was overwhelming, in a good way, in a very good way. There was so much to see there. It was, the fabric, tons and tons of fabric. I wish I had more time. I did spend a good chunk of time, but I was with somebody. I'm like, okay, don't want to bore them completely. But I did have the opportunity, and I picked up some things, including I want to pick up some stuff that was new to me, new things to try. And I have as my birthday start. So this is the first time I've done a pattern by needlework press, sorry. It is, okay, it's backwards when it's in the video on Luch. It's Felicitas y Recuerdos. I might be butchering that pronunciation. But I want to try this new to me pattern designer. I also want to try silks for the first time. So it is charted in Classic Colorworks, but I switched them to, they helped me switch it up to Classic Colorworks Belle Soie. And that's what this is. This is a translation. It is a transfer. I'm also trying my hand, I think. Did I? Let me double check. Like, did I take the leap and go on to 46 count with this or no? I don't think I did. This maybe, it is 46. So this is the first time I was stitching on 46 count as well. It was lots of firsts, which I love doing that. But that is where I'm at so far. And I just got a little bit more of this border and then working more on those flowers and the words down here. Yeah, I'm hoping to get back to that one this month and get some good progress on it. Then I think I want to frame this one. Loving how it's turning out. Love the silks. I love, I've now branched out and done more projects with silk, as well as trying different people's silks and such. So I'm loving this. Yeah. And again, if you want that color conversion, please drop me a line. I'm happy to share that with you as well. I think all of it's I am using one cotton thread because you need just a tiny little bit of it, and I had the color already, so I think there's one little cotton thread in there. Otherwise, it was a change up to silks. All right, then we're going to go into some everyday ones more. And next up is a daily reminder by With the Needle and Thread. This was a market release this year, and everybody was stitching it. I had FOMO. It's adorable. I love it. But I didn't get that far. I have this huge start on it. See how big this is? And that's where I'm at. So I have a really good outline of the house, and I am stitching it on the called for. This is, I want to say 36. It's 36 or 40, but I do know it's Arboreal by Cedar River Linens. And I'm loving the fabric. But I only got the house, and then Squirrel went off to did another project. So that one, definitely need to get back to this year. And I'll probably say that a lot. Definitely need to get back to this one this year. So pardon the repeat of that. I'm sure everybody else has the same problem as well. There's just never enough time. But we do enjoy this, and I do love starting new things, and I like it. So next up is Lily by Stacy Nash. This is the first animal cracker I started. However, I have not finished her. I finished another one because I had a goal on that one. So this one is Lily, and I am using all the called for floss, but I'm stitching this one on 36 count Toasted Almond by Fabrics by Stephanie. It's all the called for weeks dye works. So she'll be really cute. These little, if you're curious, these little tags, this is how I keep track of my fabric when it's not in a pile that I need to label. But I used to be or I still am, but I haven't done it in a while, card maker, scrapbooker. So I had these dies. This die is from, it's a tag from Long Fawn. It's a die cut. So I cut the tags, and then I have some of their stamps that I stamp the count on it, and then I will write, oops, here we go. I'll write the name of the fabric. I try to put if it's a linen or Lugana on there, and then on the back I'll put who made it if I have that. And then I have a little bin that I keep them in. Oh, I'm also trying to keep all of this stuff kind of organized so that I can put it back in a decent fashion, because the part they don't tell you about filming floss tube is all the mess afterwards. The next one is another animal cracker. This is Harriet. She's part of the British series of the Animal Crackers by Stacey Nash. So I decided that the British ones are going to be done on this color of fabric. So this is aged paper by, this 36 count, aged paper by Color and Cotton. And that's how far I've gotten on Harriet. It started with her little feet. That one. And I swear, so aged paper, sometimes it looks brown, sometimes it looks red to me. Not sure. But I'm loving how the colors are turning out on it. All right, another one. This one is Disney, and I think I started on May 4th. But it is from Good Morning Maui. It's called A Woman's Place. And if you don't know, these are Rey and Princess Leia Star Wars characters. And I started this with the call for, but I'm not overly fond with how Rey is. They're not very distinguishable. She's blending too much together, her face and her outfit. So I'm going to change those out, I think, a little bit. But I am stitching this on 32 count Lestrange by Atomic Ranch. But that's where I'm at. I got Rey, and then I got the and then we'll go from there. I think I wanted to work over on the words so I could start Princess Leia to make sure to get the base color. And that's all DMC right now. Next up, let's see here. Oh, this one. So last year I was lucky and I got to go to StitchCon. That was my first in-person retreat. I started off with a bang for my first in-person retreat. Met some fabulous people that I stay in contact with still, and I'm not going next year because I'm going to a different retreat, but hope to run into them again in other retreats. And I love chatting with everybody over Instagram and YouTube. And during that during StitchCon, there was a exclusive for StitchCon by Heart and Hand. It was the Kindred Friends, and I picked it up. But what I decided is I wanted to also kit it up there and work on fabric that I bought at StitchCon as well as with floss that I got at StitchCon. So I changed up a lot of the colors of the floss because it is a silk floss that was there. I want to say it was M&M, but they're all silks. And I just switched up the colors of how they were going. And that's where I'm at so far. So it's got just a little bit more left to go. And then what I did, there is a border that came with it as well. It was a freebie that's not shown on here, but there's a border. And there's some words around the border. But what I did instead is I had some of my friends that I met stitch their initials, my table mates, and then a couple of dear friends that I met as well. And yeah, it's a nice memory for StitchCon. So want to stitch that some more and remember all the good times that I had at that lovely retreat. All right. We're going good here. We are now on to Valentine's Day. I only have about 3 or 4 Valentines that are in my WIP pile. And one of them is Loads of Love by Primrose Cottage. Primrose Cottage does have kind of a truck series. There's this one, a patriotic one, a fall one, a Christmas one, and a spring one. There's 4 or 5 in the truck series. I want to stitch all of them and finish them on a board that I can interchange the pieces, kind of like put the magnets on the back and switch them out. You'll see I have all of them in progress, various levels, except for the Christmas truck. I didn't get to start that one this year. But you will see all of them. Haven't finished any of them yet. So that's a foreshadowing and things to look forward to on this lovely WIP Parade. This is Loads of Love though. And these are all being stitched on 36 count. So this is a 36 count I want to say this is Buttermilk by Classic Colorworks, but I'm not positive on that. Did I write it down? Nope, did not write it down. And I believe so far on this one, I am using all the call for floss. Let me double check on that. Yep, all the call for floss. My note in there is because I messed up on a row. So I already figured out how to fudge it. And I wrote my little notes for that. Yeah, just that. Whoop, that is timber in the background. Just got some words there to go. And hope maybe that will be a finish this February. The next one I have is Love Notes by Brenda Gervais with that needle and thread. This is a pattern that has 5 other little motifs in it, and I've only started one of them. I started the cup, that one right there on it. And when to me, this is 5 different pieces. So if I say I finished it, doesn't mean I finished all 5 of them. It means I finished one of them. And that's how I count it in my head. But this is the little cup of cheer. And I believe I'm using all the call for floss right now. And it is stitched on 40 Count Duxbury by Fox and Rabbit. And I picked this little area in particular because I thought it looked like coffee stains. And so I thought that was perfect for cup of cheer, for the coffee cup. So Love Notes with my needle and thread. Next up is Home Sweet Home by Primrose Cottage. I may have the finishing kit for this one. I'm not positive. I am stitching it on linen, but I'm pretty sure it is on the call for size 32 count blush. Or it might be Lugana actually. And using all the call for. We have a really good chunk of that one done. I think it's maybe about halfway at least. That's Home Sweet Home. We're now moving into St. Patrick's Day. I have 2 St. Patrick's Day whips. First up is Lucky by Emily Cole. They're super cute little patterns. And this one I am using my own colors. I'm using my own, I believe it's charted in DMC, but I'm using my own conversion to some fancy floss. And I got my cheat sheet down there of which ones so far I decided on. One second here. But I got the little leprechaun done. I'm pretty sure I started this on St. Patrick's Day and I got this all done one day, but it might have been 2 days. I know I didn't work more than 2 days on it though. And this is being stitched on 40 Count Cow Fodder by Dames of the Needle. The other St. Patrick's Day one I have is one of Primrose Cottage's Free Friday stitches. So let's see here. And if I can find them quickly. Primrose Freebies. Here we go. So it's Happy St. Patrick's Day. This again was if you are signed up for their newsletters. They every beginning the first Thursday of the month they send out a free cross stitch chart. But first Freebie Friday flows off the tongue better than Freebie Thursday. So, but it is first Thursday of the month. In fact, they actually had one that came out today. I haven't looked at. Oh no, I did see what it was. It was really cute. And then if you missed it, you can purchase this though on their website. And what my intent is, I want to stitch all of those little ones on 46 count. And so this is on 46 count raw. And I just used what I had from, I think their St. Patrick's Day Quaker packet of color and cotton. And that's how far I got. I got Happy and then the bowler hat. I think that was the hat. Yeah. We're now moving into Easter. Here is another truck. Carrot Farm by Primrose Cottage. This one is being stitched on 36 count. This one might be the buttermilk. I know they're 36 count because I'm using one thread. And I am switching up some of the colors. See, this is very bright and pastel. Primrose Cottage had a primitive floss bundle at one point in time, and I bought that, and I'm using colors from that. I'm pulling them. Again, if you want to know the color conversion that I'm using so far, happy to share with you as well. Just drop me a line here or on Instagram. Send me a DM as well on there. You can also, so I will have that in the details. My Instagram is Crystal_PNW Crafter, and I am on there a lot, and I'm trying to get text messages now, so turning those off. But yeah, drop me a line, send me a DM, and happy to answer questions on that one. And again, if moving in, come probably February, I'll be working on that one again. And if I'm showing it in a floss tube, I definitely put in there in my details what the fabric was, as well as the floss that I'm using. Next one is Hop On In by Hands On Design. This is a companion chart to another piece that I finished last year. I have a little bit to FFO it completely. And that other piece I didn't do, I did it on a chocolate fabric, and I wanted to use, and it's using silky threads, and I wanted to use that same color of fabric on this. So this is 32 count Cocoa by Weeks Dye Works. And stitching it real quick. Cute. Let's Hop On In. My Hands On Design. The next one is a twofer. I have a couple of these in here, and you'll get what I mean. This is Spring House by Hello from Liz Matthews. So in these, it's a house on top, and then you have another piece on the bottom, and you stitch the top on one piece of fabric and the bottom on a different piece of fabric, and merge them together when you frame them or display them. So I started Spring House. I am using all the call for DMC, and the top is done on 36 count hydrangea by Atomic Ranch. Can you see? I got little raindrops over here a little bit, and I got a good portion of the house outline, so I'm filling in the house bit by bit. And then the bottom part, I'm stitching on 36 count Friendship Green by Fabrics by Stephanie. Make sure I have it going in the right direction. Yep. And there's that. Now, FYI, when you're doing this and you're matching up the two pieces, they say you want to they suggest you use this. One, make sure you're using the same count. Two, it's a good idea to use the same dyer for both fabrics as well, so they're matching up. This case, they're not the same fabric dyer, but I did stitch the top part of all of these little plants, and then I made sure I stitched the bottom row of the house, and then I lined them up to make sure, and they do match. You can't really tell there, but they do match. And I made sure I did that before I went any further on the fabric. But that is Spring House by Hello from Liz Matthews. And give me 1 second as something flew. All right. Next up we have Spring Sampler Fragment by Shakespeare's Peddler. These are so cute. And I got the spring. I have the summer one, but I haven't started that one yet. And this is how far I've gone on spring. So it's a good portion of the border, the top border. And they're supposed to look like they're part of a sampler, not the full sampler, just a little portion of it. So I do have that little section. And this is, I want to say, it's not on the call for because I couldn't find the call for at the time, and I really, really want to start. It was a market release, I believe, last year. This is on 40 count Old Top Hat by Dames of the Needle. So 40 count, that's going to be a good size pillow still. It was again Spring Sampler Fragment by Shakespeare's Peddler. Here is another, we're kind of moving a little bit into summer. Another of the twofers, Seaside by Hello from Liz Matthews. I remember seeing this when it came out on her Patreon. I don't know if you can actually get it yet. This might not be available yet. I didn't know I did get this through her Patreon. Last year, Nicole Spore showed it on her floss tube, and I immediately signed up for Patreon and got that because I loved it. And I'm switching up the colors a little bit. So the house is kind of like a really blue-gray, and I'm switching it up to more of a green beach glass look. I am stitching these on 36 count, I believe, fabric by Nicholas Flamel. He was a lovely designer over in Hungary, but he's no longer selling any fabric. I was lucky enough to get a couple of pieces, and this was his beach collection. So this is all in DMC, but that's the top, the house, and then the bottom, the ocean. So they look really pretty framed up. All right. One moment as we shuffle around some piles. Again, trying not to drop everything. Next up, we have some patriotic items. And then we'll see where we are. 4th of July Rules by Primrose Cottage. When I got this, I wanted to start it. It was in 2024. I'm like, oh yeah, I'll stitch the whole thing. Now, like, yeah, I might stitch them as pillows. We'll see. So I did cut the fabric to be the one long piece, and I did start at the top. So I have practically almost done the top 4th of July Rules. And it is using all the call for floss. But I'm kind of leaning more away that I'm going to do some of them, maybe not all of them, and make them into little pillows. That's the plan, I think. We'll see how the mood strikes me come 4th of July this year. Or I do want to stitch a lot more patriotic. I'm trying to stitch more patriotic this year for the 250th as well. This one I absolutely love and want to work on it more. It is American Welcome by Plum Street Samplers, and I love the fabric that I'm stitching it on. I'm pretty sure it's 40 count. I don't think it's 36, but it's Golden Harvest by Atomic Ranch. And I'm absolutely loving it. Now, what I did work on this year was the house, and you see all the white house. The white is ghosting a little bit, but I think this is just like the innards of a house. So, I'm sorry. The white part is the details of a house, and the rest of it is blue. So I think it'll show up better. This is a white house, but I think with all white, it'll show up better too. But I am using all the call for floss right now. The color and cotton part of it. Color. The next patriotic one I have, I consider patriotic, is Nelson by Plum Street Samplers. And this little guy I worked on a little bit last night because I had a hanging thread. I mean, by a little bit, I think I put like maybe 10 stitches in. But that's where I'm at now. I got a good chunk of the tree going and started the horse and George Washington there. That's Nelson by Plum Street Samplers. Then we have another truck, Patriotic Picnic by Primrose Cottage. This one is on a 36 count. I want to say it's a color and cotton, but I'm not positive. No, it's probably not. It's thinner. Here we are on that one. This one, I do know I did switch up the red. It calls for Weeks Dye Works Turkish red. Instead, I wanted to use Weeks Dye Works Liberty because I judge a floss by its name. I do. I just thought fit better, and I do, and the red works as well. So that's where I am on that one. Another Primrose Cottage one is the American Sampler. This one, I love this one. There's a Thanksgiving one as well that I really like. I just didn't get as far as I want. I only got the border. So I got a good chunk of the border. I worked on this one a little bit last night. I think I put maybe 4 more of those little red ones in there. I'm using all the call for. And this is on, do I have it? I want to say it's raw. It's raw or natural that I'm stitching it on, but I don't have exactly which one it is. I want, the call for is 36 count flax, and I think I couldn't find flax, and that might be flax. Again, I really wish I could have printed that stuff out on Notion. I do have it on my phone. It's just, it would take a while for me to go through it. We're at 46 minutes as it is. So we're going to keep going here. We have Liberty Pennies by Hands on Design. And this one it's not the call for fabric, but it is all the, almost had shown that to you sideways, but it is all the call for floss. It's a cute little stitch that I'll be making into a round eventually. I want to say this is Slate by Fabrics by Stephanie, but again, not 100%. It's a good guesstimate. Another Primrose Cottage is American Alphabet. This one I am using all of the call for color and cotton, and it is on, this one has my tag on it still. This one is 32 count natural. And looking at this one and what that other one was, I think that one might have been natural as well. A good start on that one. We have another Primrose Cottage, and they're supposed to be bringing more patriotic stuff this year too, is American Celebration. I had really good plans, like, oh yeah, I'll stitch 1 row a month. That fizzled out after month 1. I am stitching this on 36 count Patriot Sprue by Fox and Rabbit. No, R&R. So I do have the first row done. Now I just gotta get the other ones. But the bunting's really cute. That one's really cute. Another patriotic one I have is United We Stand. I'm pretty sure I did start this one on the 4th of July last year. I just love this pattern. Handmade by Sarah W. She finished it and absolutely loved how she had it all done and everything. Like, oh, I've been wanting it. And then I finally found the book. So I started it, and it, do I have the fabric? Fortunately, I didn't have it written down what the fabric is, but I know I'm using all the call for floss. And that's where we are. Let's see here if you can tell. So that's where, oops, his head is right here. Because it's it's at an angle. But his head is here. And that's one wing, and the other wing will be over here. I got a good chunk of it. So I was going quick when I was working on it. Because I think that's only like 2 or 3 days. So once you get going, it's going good. But that one will be really cool. The only, I gotta figure out what I want to stuff it with. I know somebody at Acorns and Threads, which is my local needle workshop, they made it on a higher count, and they stuffed it with walnut shells, and that could kill somebody if you threw it at them. It's really heavy. So I gotta figure out what I want to stuff it with. I did get some wool roving for the first time, so we'll see how that works on something. All right, the next is kind of a series. It's a twofer. Not the same kind of twofer as the Hello from Liz Matthews ones, but there is Stars by Plum Street Samplers and Stripes by Shakespeare's Peddler. I think this was sold at, this was Retreat, and all of it was together, and then last 2024 they sold them as separate, and I got both patterns. I started Stars first, and then I want to say May, March of this 2025, I started stripes. And they are all on both the same piece of fabric. So I have I have a lot done on stars. And I think it's getting into some really good fill-in, which will be nice. Stripes, on the other hand, just have a little bit. How did stripes go? Yeah, that's stripes. So I just got a little bit of a start on that one. That may be one day only of stitching. I have a tendency to do that. Again, that's why you're watching 72 WIPs. So that was Stars and Stripes. Stars being by Plum Street, Stripes being by Shakespeare's Peddler. And then one more patriotic WIP, which is really close to being done. I was waiting for some thread and then I didn't get back to it. But it's from my good friend, Shelly from Antique Needleworkers, and it's Be Brave. It's a cute little pillow. She has it all charted in Valdani floss, and I had some Valdani floss. They're not the same color, so they're a little bit different. The one I didn't have was a gold, and I was waiting on that one. But I have that rose done, and it'll be such a cute little pillow. Yeah. Be Brave by Antique Needleworkers. All right, and that is all the patriotic. I'm not quite at an hour, and I chatted a lot at the beginning, so I think, fingers crossed, I'm going to keep on going. And I might talk a little bit faster, but heck, you might be watching me on double speed because that's how I get through a lot of my WIPs, or watching some of the floss tubes. I know for all the Vlogmases, it was behind, like, oh, I want to know what they have, but I don't have that much time, so yeah, some of them I watched on 2x speed. All right. Here we go. This is the pile of summer through fall. Next up, in the summer, Primrose Cottage Berry Basket. This is part of a sip and stitch that is now available to everybody. I am using all the call for floss and do have the lovely finishing kit for it when I get done with it. And I'm stitching a gray of some nature, but that's where it is. I got a lot done this year on it. It'll be really cute. We then have a little bit of a start on A Girl in Her Garden by With Thy Needle and Thread. This is an adorable drum that I really wanted to start, and then Squirrel went off to do something else. So it is on a vintage country mocha, and it's using all the call for, and that's where I'm at. So that'll be a cute drum, 1-point knife. And one of the things I did scroll on, and surprising, it's when you get these back out and you're like, oh, I do have a lot more on it, work done on it than I thought, was Rose Hill Farm Sampler by Stacy Nash. And this one, I'm pretty sure is on the call for, because I was waiting for the call for a long time, which is, I want to say brown grass, but I didn't realize I had the entire outline done. I have the border done. I mean, not the full border, but enough that, ta-da, it matches. Woohoo! And then I know I started a little up here, and then I did a little bit down here. I have a tendency to do that. Jump around it. Avoids border. Yeah, I'm happy that I got the border down on that one, though. That's all the good stuff I'm filling in. The next one did not get that much done on, but it was really, really cute. It's Honeybee Sampler by Pansy Patch Quilts. I love a good monochromatic stitch because you don't have to change out the floss colors much. I just did not get to it as much as I wanted to this year. This is, let me see if I have the fabric on here. Yeah. This is 40 Count Scrimshaw by Cedar River Linens. And I know I am using a Belle Soie And let me see here. No. I'm pretty sure it goes this way. Like, it's either going this way or it's going this way. I'm pretty sure it's going this way. But it is, I'm using Belsois, Clark Classic Works Belsois. I want to say it's in Pecan Pie. I thought I grabbed the tag out for this one, and I don't think it did. But I got a nice little start. At least I started, so I don't have to think about that. Figure out where to start and all that. I can just pick up and go. Another bee item that I have is by Primrose Cottage. It's Honeybee Quilt. And I love all their bee stuff. And I'm there, using all the call for floss. I am stitching this on an antique white. I'm pretty sure this one's 28 count, but not positive. It might be 32. But I know it was antique white. Because the white was too stark. I like the antique white a little bit better. So that was summer. We're now moving into Halloween. This one, no, I don't have it. I don't think. I'll double check. This one is a PDF. It is, so Fat Quarter Shop always seems to have a freebie stitch for fall or Halloween or both. I know this one is from, I'm pretty darn sure this one was from 2024. And I am not readily finding it. So I know it is freebie chart. You can still get it on Fat Quarter Shop. And it was their Halloween one. It was a mystery stitch along. I'm stitching this on 32 count Oracle by Picture This Plus using the Call for Classic Colorworks. So it is a, you can see here the border in orange, and it does go to, so that's halfway point. So it goes probably to about here, and it's a square. And then it's a ghost, a witch ghost. There's a ghost Dracula, and then some candy in there. It is cute. But it is a PDF, and it's on my phone. And I have a lot of PDFs in there, so it's a little bit hard to find. The next one, though, is a big stitch that I didn't get to this Halloween. I'm really sad that I didn't get to it. Because I love having this one finished, which is so cool. It's Halloween Quaker by Lila Studio. I am pretty sure I'm doing this on the called for 40 count Murky. I'm pretty darn sure it's a call for. So far, I'm also using all the call for floss. But I do have, that's what I got done in 2024. And I didn't get to stitch on it in 2025. But I love it. It's not one that I want to UFO or anything like that. I just need to work it into my agenda, Halloween agenda. One I did start this year, and it's a PDF that I didn't get to, because I was at one of Lindy Stitch's online retreats, and I met some other gals, and we were chatting, and then the Boomerang Stitches had a new pattern drop, and one of them was Snack-o-lantern. It's a cute little raccoon and a jack-o'-lantern picking out candy. Again, it's on PDF, and I can't easily find it without having to wait for me to find it. But we all started it together. A lot of the gals have it finished. It looks so cute. I do not have it finished. That is where I am on it. This is on a Fiber on a Whim, and I want to say it's Plum. Yep, Fiber on a Whim, Plum, 40 count. And I'm using some of the call for, like the raccoon and DMC. That one's called for. But then I'm using some of my own color conversions, like the bowl and then the orange of the, I think the pumpkin jack-o'-lantern is two-tone, and I'm just going to use one variegated floss on it. He's a cute little raccoon. Raccoon's done. It's just the pumpkin and the little treats I got to get done. It's just that one. And then I did start, I spent like a couple days on this one. Another Animal Cracker, Nettle by Stacey Natch. And she is just adorably cute. And this is on the 40 count Tin Roof by WIP Parade. Yeah, WIP Parade. I'm using all the call for floss so far. And now that I see that, tin roof looks a lot like gray. Huh. I was looking for gray on something. Yeah, nettle will be a cute little stitch. I do want to stitch her mask. I don't know if I'll have it on her necessarily, but it'll be cute just next to her too. Another one was a restart. It is Primrose Cottage, Toil and Trouble. So it's a restart because, here, it's only just one back I can show you. On that plum fabric, I had started it because I thought the purple was really cute. But I was using Emily's conversion to Weeks Dye Works, and you can barely see the toil, that purple right there. So I restarted it using the same conversion that Emily had, and I put it on this gray fabric. It is a mystery fabric. I don't know what count it is. I got it in a box. It's got to be tiny. It's got to be a tiny count. But once I changed the fabric and I liked it a lot, I really got going on it. The other thing I did is I'm more of a green person than purpley. And then that Trouble is in gray, and it's on the gray fabric. So I'm switching out some of the words to use more of that purple. Or I mean green. That's in it. That one should be good. Good one to finish this year. Let's see here. Couple more. Next one is Good Morning Maui. One again. It is Happy Haunts. This is all, if you're familiar with Disney, you can tell this is all from the Haunted Mansion. I have a piece that I got. It's from Target in their dollar spot one, 2023. And I thought, and I had this chart, and I'm like, that'd be perfect. Didn't get it started in 2023. 2024, I finally figured out what I need to do to make it fit. Because this whole thing will not fit on what I want to finish it on. And so I was cutting and piecing it together and moving all the parts around. And I finally landed on a scheme that I think will work in a plan. And it's lots of chart or lots of configuration. And if I don't stitch it on the piece, I think I'm going to stitch it into like little pillows to put around it. But so that took longer than I expected. So I just got a little bit of a start of I'm stitching, let's see here. The tightrope walker, I'm stitching her, but I'm putting her in the middle of the top row. So that's where I got started on her hair. So at least I have it started and I can go from there. And it goes quicker. Once you get it started, I think it goes quicker. And that is on London Fog, 40 Count London Fog by Atomic Ranch. So, pardon me. 'Tis the season to have a runny nose. Next up is Halloween Quaker by Primrose Cottage. I stitched the Halloween quilt first, and then I stitched Salem Sister Stitchery. And this is the last one of that season's Halloween that I think I have to do. And so I think I started this on Halloween. I got a little bit of a start on the bats and stuff on the top. And this is being stitched on 32 count Vintage Country Mocha. 32 or 28 count Vintage Country Mocha. The last Halloween, is it the last Halloween? Yep, last Halloween piece is from the Jack-O-Lantern Jubilee book by With Thy Needle and Thread. This again has 6 different little pillows. It has these 3, these 2, and then another little one. I can see right there. That one. I did finish the Ghosts and Goblins. I finished that I started and finished it. And then I started the little Witch Hilda one. I think that's her name is Witch Hilda. But she is adorable. So I'm stitching these all in the same fabric. I want to say Winter Brew. I want to say Winter Brew a lot because I have a lot of Winter Brew. I'm using all the call for floss except for the purple that's called for in these. Used like 2-3 stitches. And it was ultraviolet, which is a really bright purple. And like, that's too bright when I was looking at it at the store. So I think I'm using Purple Haze instead. But that was the final Halloween piece. We're now moving into fall and a little bit of Thanksgiving. First up is Plum Street Samplers, Dear Friends. This was a stitch along hosted by Simply Stitching Ocala, and I want to say Floss and Blocks back from 2024. I'm sure if you use the hashtag Dear Friends, something will come up on Instagram still. But I started it, but I didn't get it finished. I got it's probably about a third away done. And it's using all the call for floss so far. I do know that the colors in the deer, they've kind of switched since when that pattern was out. So I'm going to make some tweaks, but it's coming along really nicely. This past year, I know I got some of the deer done as well as one or two of those leaves. That's Dear Friends by Plum Street. We have the third of the twofer from Liz Matthews, the Pumpkin House. And this one, I am stitching on 36 count XJU Designs fabrics. The first one is Midnight Ride. And I'm using all the call for DMC. Midnight Ride by XJU Designs. I saw this fabric on Lindy Stitches. I immediately that is what I want, the Pumpkin House. Between that one and Grandpa's Sleeve. I'm pretty sure this is Grandpa's Sleeve. It's got to be Grandpa's Sleeve. I don't think I've used Grandpa's Sleeve on anything else. Oops. The tag is on here, I know still, so that's what I'm looking for. Yep, Grandpa's Sleeve, 36 count. Oops, there we go. So I got a lot more of the house done than I do the pumpkin patch. I did a good part of the border on that one too. But that will be The Pumpkin House by Hello from Liz Matthews. This one is Feast of Friendship by Blackbird Designs. This was my Thanksgiving Day start back in 2024. And this year I got to work on it just a bit. I got a little bit more of that house done and some of the windows. And maybe I got the border complete. But Feast of Friendship by Blackbird Designs. I am using all the call for floss so far. I know Tin Rough was back in the day more blue than it is now, which is gray. So working on the house bit by bit, and we'll see. We'll see what happens when I get there. I thought I had the fabric down for that one, but I don't. I'm pretty sure it's a 40 count on that one because I wanted it as small. I wanted it smaller. The next one, I don't have the pattern to show you. It is another one of the Fat Quarter Shop's freebies. I started out strong and then I pittered off. So it was their fall 2025 Fat Quarter Shop freebie. And it had a cute fall theme that was really good. I loved, so it's a mystery at first. The first week, fall is in the air. Love the border. Love the border. Second week, this row. I'm like, all right, not bad. Kind of a pain in the butt. I was trying to swear. Kind of a pain to start. You make sure I remember. Yeah, you can't tell, but that's two different colors. Every other stitch is a different color. I mean, it's two colors, but you skip every other. So yeah, I'm not a fan of that. The same thing for the pumpkin. And then when week 2 or 3 and 4 came out, it was same kind of like this motif again, just reverse order and somewhat similar. And you still had to do this every other thing again. I'm like, I'm not digging it. So, I don't know. We'll see how I finish that one. I really don't see myself finishing it to put in more of those every other stitches. I mean, I like pumpkins and I like leaves. The weird looking star thing, maybe not so much. But haven't fully committed to the UFOing it. Love the border. So we'll see. We'll see what next fall comes. Pumpkin Patch is another truck design by Primrose Cottage. This I'm glad I waited because I got the perfect fabric for it in my Be Stitch Me Fabric of the Month Club. It's called What the Hey in 36 count. And I'm so far using all Call for Floss. And I got a good chunk of that border done and started on the banner. But that was Pumpkin Patch by Primrose Cottage. Again, using all the Call for Floss so far. This one was a start and it's going quick. Welcome Fall by Antique Needleworkers. It's a cute little pillow, and I was lucky enough, she had little pins by Jersey Stitch Co. that I was able to snag those as well. So I am stitching this with the Call for Floss, but it is on 36 count brown paper by XJU Design. And that is Welcome Fall. I got that pumpkin set up for some good filling. The last fall piece is one that I started on Thanksgiving this year. And it is Feels Like Fall with a Needle and Thread. I did talk about this one a little bit on my last floss tube. I'm stitching it on 40 count Cedar Pyrite by Cedar River Linens. And so far, I'm using all the Call for Floss. However, I'm not liking the lack of very different color variations on these, so one of them might get switched. But that's a decision for next year. And again, that was on Pyrite by Cedar River Linens. Okay, last but not least is Christmas. Some of these might, no, they're Christmas. I was going to say some of them might lean winter, but no, they don't. There are 18 Christmas whips to go. A good chunk of these I did talk about in my last floss tube, so I'm going to maybe go a little bit quicker on it. But again, if you have any questions, drop me a line. Happy to answer. This does contain my one whip that I still have from 2023. And it is, I don't have the chart for you because it's another PDF. It is available now from Hands On Design, but it was from the 2023 Jingle Ball. It was in class. And I really still want to dig it. It's just a lot of different color changes with the DMC floss, and it wasn't calling to me this year. But I want to say it's called Jingle Around the Block. It is one of the block patterns that she has that you finish like in a, I want to say mattress finish is what it's called, but I'm not positive. But it's really cute. It has a little Santa, the elves, Mrs. Claus is up next on that. And it is on a 28 count antique white, I think. But that is my oldest whip. Dun dun dun. The other whip that's so close to being finished, I talked about in my last floss tube, is Jingle Bell Sleigh Ride Company by Cherry Hill Stitchery. Cherry Hill Stitchery is no longer doing business, but I think you might be able to get this pattern some places still. Not positive though. And this was a stitch along that Nicole Spohr was doing back in 2023, but I wasn't stitching then. 2024 I liked it, so I jumped on the bandwagon. All that to say, this is her floss conversion to Classic Colorworks and Weeks Dye Works. And all I have left is dashing through. And if I hadn't run out of thread, this would be done. So this may be my first finish of the new year. I just gotta make it to the store or place an order online. Might be going shopping next week. We'll see. That's some plans. The next one is I didn't start during the Jingle Ball. I started, I think, in July of 2024. It was a mystery stitch along for Tiny Modernists. So I don't have the whole pattern. It's all released now. The Nordic motifs and so forth. But it has a great color palette. Like, it's so bright and vibrant. It was really cool looking. But I didn't get a stitch on it any this year. But this is Merry and Bright. So only have the word "and" to finish this, and then the border part here. But I did start over here. There's some ornaments on this, in that square. And this is all with some DMC. But it's just, the colors are just so vibrant, and it's really pretty and unique that I like it. This is another Jingle Ball item. There's a lot of Jingle Ball items. This one is Gingerbread House Sewing Book by Stacy Nash. This was a class at the Jingle Ball in 2024. I got the kit at that time, so this is using all the call for floss with all the call for fabric. So that's the front of the house, and that's the back of the house. I have not started the back of the house. The front of the house, so close to being done. I just got some little fill in there and fill in on the window, and that will have the front of the house. And I think I want to make this one into a stand-up. That's the plan at this point in life. But we'll see when the time comes. Next one, I don't have a pattern for you. It's a PDF. It was 2020. It was a tiny modernist class in Jingle Ball 2024. It was her gingerbread house. I'm pretty sure it's available now because she did a bakery this year, I think. I just was pulling from, I signed up like I think the day of. So I'm pulled for stash, different colors. I'm using 32 count coffee stain. And I got all ambitious, like, oh, it's so cute. Yay, I'll do it. And all I've gotten done is the front of the house. So I think on this one, what I might do is I'll finish the front of the house and make it into a little ornament. And then if I want to do the whole thing later, I'll come back to it. But that was Tiny Modernist Gingerbread House. Yeah, because I switched up a lot of the flosses on that one too. Next one is a Primrose Cottage, Home for the Holidays. I believe this was a sip and stitch. And it came with all the finishing kit and the floss and everything. And I had a little bit of a start on it last year and did not get to it yet this season. Kind of morphs into winter. There we are. I started with the house. That's snowflakes, and that's the top left of the H. And this is using all the call for floss, and I'm pretty sure this is on 27 count light taupe, because I wanted it to fit the one size. And it might be 28 count. That's got to be 28 count light taupe. The next one is from Jingle Ball 2023, but now available. It was a Jingle Ball, no. Was it 23 or 24? Might be 24. It was an exclusive, hands-on design. All is bright, now available to all. And I'm using all call for floss on the call for fabric, which is 32 count. Juniper by Fabrics by Stephanie. I got some good progress. I got all the little houses and roof. Started on the snow down here. Yeah. Got just a bit down here to mow. So it's All is Bright by by Hands on Design. Next one was Comfort and Joy by Plum Street. This one, I mean, if it didn't have that December 25th on it, I kind of would think this is more winter. So based upon that, I mean, there's a wreath, but kind of wintry. I might leave that off. We'll see. This one was a kit available exclusively from, it was a kit. I think this is available now. At the time, it was a kit that was exclusive. I was having FOMO, like always. And so I jump on all the bandwagons and I stitch things. But it's fun. But I didn't get that much of a start. I really want to work on this more. I did work on this a little bit last night, so I could say I put stitches in it at least. But it was just these little leaves, I think. Yeah, I made big stitching plans for New Year's Eve. Did not pan out. That's Comforting Joy. Start with the leaves in the top. That'll be great when I get to that house. I did work on Christmas quilt this past Christmas week. This is Primrose Cottage. using the called for floss, which is just two color work. It's two colors, Classic Color Works, Cherry Cobbler, and Gentle Arts Endive. Can't grab it. And that's where we are. These quilts, I mean, once you started, and it's just kind of, it's repeats and it's really easy stitching. So I like mixing it up between these on the 28 or 32 count and then going to the 40, 46. Kind of gives my brain a break a little bit. And some days you just don't, you're not feeling I don't want to count, so you fill in, or some days are just harder than others. So it's nice to have the variety. Next one up is Merry Old Soul. Now this is by With Needle and Thread. This one I did work on this past week a few nights, so I was able to get more done on him. So yeah, I only have his little thing a little bit more down here in his boots, and then to lots of fill-in. A little sock that's kind of, I made a mistake over here, so I had to rip out his mitten and his cuff over there to fix it. But luckily that was as far as I got on that, so I didn't have too much to rip out for a mistake. The other one is his cheek. In the video, his cheeks don't look as bright as in person. That pink is really standing out to me. So I might rip out his cheeks and use a different portion of that floss, because, you know, variegates for the cheeks. We'll see. Or I might just leave it. Next one is Santa Stops Here with Needle and Thread. This one, again, I worked on a little bit this past week. I'm almost done with the mortar. So can you see it? Yeah. The mortar of the house, I'm almost done with all of that. I just have a little bit over here. And then that way I can just go back in and fill in all of the brick color. That's a hanging thread because it's too short to leave on the floss card, but it's too long for me to give it up. I must use all the thread. It's fancy floss. But my border finally matches. Woohoo! And that one's going along good. This is from Jingle Ball this year, Ginger by Stacy Nash. Cute little mouse. And I got the kit for this one, so this is all the called for floss on the called for fabric. And there's the little Ginger so far. I get more of her dress and little stuff. So yeah, she'll be a cute little mouse. And if you're watching this at any point in time, be sure that if you need to go watch your Jingle Ball classes, that you do so. I'm pretty darn sure that that ends on January 6th. I gotta go look into that. That's my plans for the weekend. Next up is Christmas at Hollyberry Farm. I started that one this year. And I got a little bit of a start on the border, the top border there, on the leaves. Next up, I don't have a pattern for you because it's a PDF from Primrose Cottage, and it's not available right now. It is their class that was at the Jingle Ball of 2024. It was to stitch Merry Stitchmas on this lovely bag. And you stitch it in pearl cotton. So far, this is the call for Weeks Dye Works pearl cotton, but I'm using the gray bag, I'm using the green bag instead of the gray one, and I am plans to switch out some of the call for with the Classic Color Works Pearl 5 that I had in stash. That's Merry Stitchmas by Primrose Cottage. Next one is from the Jingle Ball as well. Oh, apologies. This one was an exclusive, so unfortunately, if you didn't get it, you're gonna have to wait. And it's a PDF, so I don't have it to show it to you. It's Oh Holy Night by Annie Bees. If you check out her Instagram, she had it on there as well. I'm using all the called for floss, but I'm using it on 40 Count Winter Sea by Manny Didana. I haven't gotten back to it since I last showed it on my floss tube, but there we are. We got the good part of the border done. Started working on the wreath in the middle here, and I got a good chunk of this roof, half that roof done, and started those clouds to get some fill in there too. And it's going along great. The other item I started this year was Dasher and Dancer by Hobby House Press. I've been wanting to start this forever, and I finally took the plunge. I am stitching this on, what was it, 40 count Overcast by Cedar River Linen, and I'm stitching it in a green. I'm stitching it in Creme de Meth by Classic Colorworks, and I just decided to start in the top right on that border. Again, this little light part is going to get ripped out and replaced. I talk about that in my last floss tube. It was a great monochromatic stitch. Really wanted to start this one for like a good few years, and I just started to start it. I only worked on it maybe one day. Yeah, I think this is all in one day. But it's because I had quilted up forever. Quilted Christmas by Emily Call. In this little 3 set, and I started with the tree. I am stitching this on fabric. I want to say it's bisque. Okay, the label's in there buried someplace. It is pretty darn sure it's called bisque. Oop, there it is. Yep, 36 count bisque by Lakeside Linen. And that's where I got. Again, I'm pretty sure that is just one day. It's a combination of DMC, specialty floss, or fancy floss, as well as sulky. So the green is in sulky with 1 strand, and then that gray is a DMC with 2 strands on 36 count. And I'm loving how it's turning out. So that was that one. And then the last but not least, and this was my last start of 2025, was on Christmas Day, is We Santa 2022. Last floss tube I go into, however, I'm not a fan of the 2025 Santa, so I did 2022. I am stitching this on 32 count freeze by Atomic Ranch using all the called for floss. And that was just one day of stitching on Christmas. And that'll be super cute. And that, folks, with under an hour and 30, is the 2026 WIP Parade. Woohoo! Sparkle, sparkle, woohoo! I hope you tuned in and enjoyed what you saw. Again, questions, feel free to drop me a line. Happy to answer questions. And if you liked what you saw, please like and subscribe, and hope to see you back again. Just to recap, I usually film about every other week, so you should see me mid-January. I'll go over what I've been stitching or working on, crafting and everything those couple of weeks. I do know I have a start for today. I will be starting my blessing sampler. I use that term very loosely because it's not a sampler, and but I picked some for the last 3 years. I picked something that kind of just resonates with me a little bit for my intent for the year. And this year I was gonna do something, and I'll show that one next to you, but I wasn't feeling it, so I went through all my patterns last night and I found this one, which is with on needle and thread. It is Queen of the Needle, and I absolutely love the fact that it was the little dog over here and then her with the needle, so that embodies both cross stitching as well as sewing, and it could include knitting, which I want to do more of as well. So I'll be stitching this one up. I haven't kitted it up yet. I just pulled the pattern. So I do know that her blue dress, I want to change it into green. As you can tell, green's my favorite color, so I kind of want to find something that matches that almost. But that is Queen of the Needle. That will be my start today, and then my hope is to finish it by the end of the month. I think that was a doable one. The other one that I had been thinking about it, because I jumped on the, I got the kit, was the We Are Blessed, Teresa Kogut, Chantel's 141 kit. I believe she might still have some. I'm not positive on that one, but you're not going to get it. I know you wouldn't get it until towards the end of January. But go check out Chantel's 141 designs. You get the pattern, the DMC floss, the fabric, and the, unless she's changed up the kit a bit, this drum. The drum's really cool, and I really want the drum. So I love that. it comes with the DMC. However, the pattern is charted with some specialty flosses, like half of them are specialty flosses. And I really like the variegation that is in the specialty flosses versus the DMC. So I want to go kit up the specialty flosses for this before I start stitching, or maybe I'll figure out where I can stitch it in the middle. But that will be sometime this month. Finish that one. And then I know before I'll see next, I do want to start, I'll have started my birthday start. I have something in mind of how to kit it up for a long time. I bought the kit, I just never started it. And I'm not sure if it's available to everybody. So if you are stitching and you had it, let me know. I'd love to hear. Because I do want to start this one. I love the colors, and it's not my usual thing. And it was a kit from Number 12 Stitch Co. over in England. I think it's England or Australia. And she had Amongst the Berries. And you got the fabric and the floss, and I got a project bag that's really pretty. And so this was, yeah, Number 12 Stitch Co. And it's going to be on Regency Gold 40 count. I love the greens and pinks in this. Amongst the Birds. It's not my usual, but again, like I said at the beginning of the video, I like doing unique things for my birthday. Things are new to me or have meaning. I like trying new things. So it might be this one, or I think I might be going to Acorns and Threads and my local needle workshop, and maybe they might have something that piques my interest to start that day too. So we'll see. Plans are fluid. Other plans, I do know that I have the 18 Christmas WIPs, and I have tons of other Christmas projects. I think I have like 3 or 4 kitted already, and other ones in my pattern sesh that I want to do. So I want to try doing WIP Go, but not, I was watching Nicole Spore during her vlogs. She was talking all about it. She made up a lovely board, and I'm going to print that up. And I like the idea of it's just, hey, work on it. Get a stitch in, get 20 stitches in, complete it. Just work on it a little bit throughout, on Christmas, throughout the year. And hopefully I'll have more projects done. And more projects, maybe more projects started. I have 18. There's 25 slots on WIP Go. So at least time to do new ones. But that is my plans for 2026. I also was thinking, oh, I have a lot of patriotic ones, and it's the 250th. Let me do that. But then I was like, yeah, but by the time 4th of July comes around in mid-year, I'm going to be burnt out. Not burnt out, but like over it maybe a little bit. And so what I think I'm going to do instead is pick 6 projects and put those in a board and roll a dice. Or just have intentions to work on patriotic every month. So we'll see on that one. Otherwise, I have no set plans for the year in regards to crafting. No like lofty goals. I do know that I want to work on filming some more and making sure going on Instagram some more and posting on a regular basis. For Christmas, I got a microphone. Did not have time to test it out and try it out before this, so hopefully that'll help. Will help with some of the sound maybe, and make better quality videos, because I want to grow that subscriber number. Right now I'm at 813, and so when I'm trying to get to 1,000. We'll go baby steps. So when we hit 1,000, I want to do a giveaway. Not sure what the giveaway will be. Maybe it'll be a project bag I make. It might be some patterns that I have. We shall see. But when I hit 1,000 subscribers, there should be a giveaway. So that'll be a big goal for me this year. And I have the Stitch West 10, the Primrose Cottage retreat coming up in July. And there's a couple of Lindy Stitches online retreats in there that I want to do, and just chatting more with people on Instagram and Stitchy friends, and having some good hangouts by video while we stitch, and yeah, just have a very crafty 2026. And I wish the same for you, and I look forward to maybe chatting with you, or hope you come back and see what else I've been working out through the year. But until then, happy crafting and have a great day. Bye now.